Everybody shout! Come on now, sing out! It's time for the Ghoulies get together.
Joe is in Blacktown. What gets your ghoulies, Joe?
Good morning, guys. What gets my ghoulies is I had security calls on me in a shopping centre 2 weeks ago because I was changing my son in the parents' room, and as a man, I was apparently not allowed to be in there, so someone had security called.
Really?
In the parents' room?
Yeah, so apparently there was another lady in there who was breastfeeding in the breastfeeding area behind a curtain. Her charming husband, who was outside, had decided that it was unacceptable that a man would be changing a baby. So he'd gone to the nearest security person he could find and said, there's a guy in the parents' change room. I was changing a baby. I was actually 10-week-old, and I had a gentleman sort of knock on the door and come in, and he said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? I kind of spun around and thought, well, mate, I'm rotating my tyres. What do you think I'm doing? I was, hand deep in a pooey nappy, and he said, is that your child? And I said, mate, yes, it is my child. And so then I proceeded to finish up and change the baby. It had been an epic explosion, so it was a full nappy change and full costume change. And I then got questioned for 5 minutes in a hallway by security to make sure that I wasn't doing anything untoward while I was in there.
That is mental.
I'm outraged,
That is
Joe.
mental.
And this is the third time that this has happened to me. I've got two children. I've got a toddler who's now 2.5, and we've got our 10-week-old. And this is the first time it's happened with Alexander, but it has happened twice with our first child. This particular time there was a happy ending to this one, guys, because the lady who was in question, apparently her husband had done this before, so she then proceeded to staunchly defend me to the security guards whilst breastfeeding in the hallway, and then storm out, gesticulating wildly. Baby came unlatched. Everyone got a great view of exactly what was happening, while she absolutely tore shreds off her husband in the middle of a shopping centre. But nonetheless, I'm not sure what was more frustrating, the fact that another parent would think that it's their place to call security on me, clearly going in there with a child, or the fact that security wouldn't have just asked the guy a question in the first place and said, did he go in with a pram? Because maybe that's an indicator that I'm going in there for the right reason.
So the thing is, there will always be people whose minds you can't change on this stuff, but that the shopping centre made it that hard for you is absolutely outrageous.
I sometimes wonder about those security guards. You just wonder. Like a lot of them, you look at them and you go, mate.
Oh, Joe, what a distressing and frustrating experience.
Because I use those things all the time, those parent things.
Your kids are in their 20s.
I know. Well, I'm still a parent.
Joe,
they're very nice.
That is terrible. I'm just glad you shared that with us so that I can be outraged as well.
I'm so outraged. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Gets My Ghouls.
Yes, indeed.
Catch Jonesy and Amanda's podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
101.7
WSFM.